Hi there. Today we are going to do some problems all about the order of operations. So we're going to do some freebies from your assignment today. So if you follow along and you write these down, you're going to be doing the math and you're practicing with me, but you're also getting some of the answers for today's assignment. Now, the first thing I recommend doing, and I'm going to do this over here off to the side, I'm just going to remind myself of the correct order of operations that are always true for all of math. So a lot of people remember them in different ways. Some people say PEMDAS and some people say, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. But no matter what, our order of operations is always the same. So I'm going to write what I would write on my paper. So this is a way that makes sense for me, but you can edit or change it in a way that works for you. I always start with the letter P for parentheses. E is below that for exponents. Then I do MD, so multiplication and division. I like to circle them because they're a family, and I like to put an arrow to remind myself to solve that family left to right. And then we have A and S for addition and subtraction. Those are a family, and they get solved left to right. So this is a crazy thing that I write on my paper, but it makes sense to my brain. Feel free to have your notes out as well if that would help you. So we're going to do some freebies from today's assignment. We're going to do A, B, D, and H together. So I'm going to start with A up here, and all I've done is I've copied down the problem that is in my slideshow. So there's a card labeled A, and I have to solve it, and then I'm going to move that card to the category that matches the answer. So I'm always going to do order of operations in the same order every time for all the pieces that I see. So P is for parentheses. If I look up at A, we have 4 squared divided by 4 plus 8 times 2. Remember that dot can be a times. There's no parentheses, so I get to skip that for now. E is for exponents. I see an exponent, so I like to underline it. I also personally like to expand my exponents because I like to see the math that's happening. I know that 4 squared means 4 times 4. So I like to just jot that down. You can do a times sign here if that's helpful. 4 times 4 is what's really happening. So when I solve 4 times 4, I get 16. Next, I need to bring down all the other pieces that I haven't used mathematically yet. So we still have to divide by 4 plus 8 times 2. Okay, now I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. Here we go. So now I've done parentheses because there were none. Exponents was finished. Next, I have multiplication and division family, but I'm going to go left to right. So I see some division happening over here. So I'm going to underline this part of the family. We have the division happening here. We also see some more family members. So I'm going to underline the multiplication over here, and we would solve it from left to right. So let's do this side first. We'll do 16 divided by 4. Well, that's 4. I'm also going to do the other side of the family, which is 8 times 2 over here, which is 16. And now I have to bring down anything I haven't used. I haven't used this addition symbol, so I'm going to bring it down. Now I have one step left, 4 plus 16. You can underline it if you want to. 4 plus 16 is 20. I always personally like to circle my answer. And I know that I've done things well if every step I took made my problem shorter and shorter. So I got a final answer of 20. So I'm going to grab card A and slide it over to the answer box for 20. Let's try the same thing, but we're going to do it for card B. So card B says 10 times, and then we have parentheses, 5 plus 3, close the parentheses, divided by 5. So once again, we're going to do order of operations. Parentheses comes first. So this 5 plus 3, even though it's addition, it's inside the parentheses. So the parentheses comes first. 5 plus 3 is 8. Next, I'm going to bring down all the pieces I haven't used yet. I still have a multiplications dot, a 10. Over here we have divide, and we have 5. Now, if multiplication dots aren't your thing, you're welcome to just make them look like multiplication with a time sign. Totally up to you. Now, we don't have any exponents. Next, I have multiplication and division family from left to right. Now, all my family members are sitting right next to one another, so I like to underline all of them. I even put a little arrow at the end to remind myself I'm going to start on the left and solve headed towards the right. So that means the first thing I have to do, I'm going to double underline it here. The 10 times 8 has to come first because that's the family member that is on the left. So 10 times 8 is 80. Next, I still have to divide by 5. So I'm just going to write that down. Now, if you don't know 80 divided by 5, feel free to solve it off to the side. 80 divided by 5 goes in once, 3 left over, goes in 6 times, and 0 left over. So I got 80 divided by 5 equals 16. Okay, quick reminder. My problem got smaller because every time I solved a step, my expression got shorter and shorter. I got an answer of 16, so I'm going to find the 16 box. Okay, we're going to try our last one up top, and then we'll head to question 8, which was really, really challenging. So quick reminder of my order of operations. I'm just going to write it right here. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or PEMDAS. Multiplication and division are a family left to right. Addition and subtraction are a family left to right. So this is what I write on my paper because it makes sense to me. Okay, we're going to dive into solving this. I have 10 squared minus 9 squared plus 1. So P is for parentheses, but I don't see any. So next I'm going to go to exponents. I see 2 of them. So I'm going to solve this one. I will also solve this one. And if you remember, I like to expand my exponents so that I can see what's happening. I know that 10 squared really is 10 times 10. I know that 9 squared is really saying 9 times 9. Now that I've expanded those, now I'm ready to solve. 10 times 10 is 100. 9 times 9 is 81. I got to bring down everything I haven't used yet, like the subtraction symbol. We have addition over here, and we have a 1. So I'm done with my multiplication and division family members. Next, I have addition and subtraction. All this is addition and subtraction, so I just need to go from left to right. So I'm really going to start with this, which is 100 minus 81. Now that's 19. If you didn't know that, you could solve it off to the side, 100 minus 81. And you could have done your regrouping, whatever you need to do. Personally, I knew how to solve it and get 19. I'm going to bring down the plus and the 1 because I haven't done that yet. 19 plus 1 is 20. Remember that every step got smaller and smaller. So I'm going to move card D over to the 20 box as well. Let's solve question H together. It's pretty challenging, and then I'll zoom out so you can see the whole board all together. Okay. So over here, we're going to remind ourselves, parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, left to right, addition or subtraction, left to right. Now this one's really challenging. And the reason I want to do this as a freebie is because we've got 2 sets of parentheses or brackets. Parentheses are these round ones, brackets are the more square versions. Now, when you're solving parentheses, if you have more than one, you're going to start solving from the inside out. So this one is really challenging and I want to do it together. So since parentheses come first, I notice that we have these brackets or parentheses for this, but then I notice that there's some inside. And when I underline the inner ones, see how it's double underlined? That tells me that this part is what really comes first. So I'm going to solve 10 minus 3 on the inside innermost parentheses. 10 minus 3 is 7. Now, since there's no other math happening inside, these parentheses could fall down. So I'm going to just show you. These are the ones that are going to fall down because we solved what's inside. We got a 7. Now, when those fall down, we still have to use everything else around it though. So we still have this exponent 2. Since it was stuck to these parentheses, it's going to stick to this 7. So we've got a 7 squared now. Now I still want to bring down this plus 15. I still have these big brackets around that whole group. And we have a divide by 4 hanging out on the end. Okay. Now if I go back to my order of operations and it says parentheses, I still have parentheses happening. So I'm going to underline what's in there. Now I have another choice to make. Should I do this exponent first or should I be doing the addition? Well, if I look over, exponents come before addition. So I'm going to really start here with 7 squared. I like to expand it. That means 7 times 7. So I know that's 49. Okay, I'm going to bring down everything I haven't used yet. Plus 15. I still have these brackets because there's still stuff happening inside. and I have a divide by 4 off on the end. Okay, parentheses. I'm still working on these parentheses. Whew, 49 plus 15. Now, if you don't know the answer, you can set it up off to the side. 9 and 5 makes 14. 4, 5, 6. So that is 64. And these finally can fall down because I've solved everything inside them to get a number, which is 64. So I'm going to bring down my divide by 4. So I've got my final step happening here, 64 divided by 4. If you're not sure what it is, you're going to solve it off to the side. 4 goes into 6 once, 2 left over, 4 goes into 24 6 times, no left over. So I got 16. Ooh, this took a while, but we finally arrived at our answer. So my final answer for this is 16. This is definitely the hardest one of the bunch, so I'm glad we did it together. So I'm going to zoom out so you can see all of the work we did today. No matter what the problem was, we always used the same order of operations. So no matter what problem you're solving, you always solve things in the same order, in the same way. So feel free to pause this, rewind it, go back and watch this a couple times. It's tough. This is brand new math, and you might want to watch it a few times or ask for help today when you see me next. Good luck and do your very best.